Greetings, grasshoppers. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Bot Signal. My name is RJ Redden, and entrepreneurs hire me to burn down marketing methods that no longer work for them because most can't get traction online to save their lives. So I build messages that connect, build relationships, and close deals. I do that with messenger marketing, and so can you. That's what the show's about. Glad you've joined me today. Hey, speaking of joining me, if you're watching me from someplace other than Black Belt Bots page, click the link up above in the description, and you'll get to my Black Belt Bots page to watch this broadcast. I ask that because I want to see and answer all your questions. And sometimes when people comment on other places, I miss it. It's terrible. Anyway, hello, my darlings. Everyone, thank you for coming. Very good. So today's topic came out of a meeting I was having with a client, and it was just all about calls to action. How do you decide what type of call to action to put in the bot? We've all been kind of trained, through the years, marketing wise, where to put them in an email, put them twice, where to put them on a website. Kim says use a different color button and make it kind of a loud color, if you will. We've kind of been trained everywhere else in the marketing world for the call to action. So where do you put those bad boys in the bot to make it the most effective thing that you can make it? So that is my topic today. If you got any questions for me as I go, if you've got any questions right now, just put them in the comments, boop, and I will answer them. So very good. So a call to action, what is it? We're super familiar, right? We're super familiar with putting buttons on our websites and buttons or links in emails, and basically everywhere that we go online, there's a call to action. There's a call to action on the bottom of my blog posts. There's a call to action. There's calls to action anywhere, everywhere. The thing is, if you can get people to engage with your material, then offer them an opportunity or a resource that you can share to take them a step further in their process. That's really what the call to action is. Teresa says, I was struggling with this as I started to build. The content came super easy, but inserting calls to action got me hung up. Okay, let me ask you, Teresa, what do you know what was hanging you up specifically? Do you know why you got stuck on that part? Was it because it felt too salesy? Was it because you couldn't think of the right language that you wanted? Tell me what was hanging you up. I'd love to talk you through that. Stacy says, there's a call to action above your head right now. Stacy, I like you. Yes, there is. Boop. Type live. If you never want to miss another bot signal, you've got an opportunity to get signed up into my bot for the reminders that come out Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 o'clock. Thank you, Stacy Spenceley. All right, very good. So, Teresa, tell me why the calls to actions got you hung up, because I'd love to kind of talk you through that. And then also, if there's a point on that's on my agenda right here, that would be super sweet as well. So CTA, we know what it is. How do you put them inside a bot? Where do you put them inside the bot? What kinds do you use? So for me, okay, Teresa's got an answer for me here. It was about how to set up the structure within a bot. Do I do it as a section, as a separate action? Do I do it as part of the conversation? Made me frustrated. Oh, I get it. Okay, perfect. Let me leave that question up there for a while. So for me, the most effective types of CTAs, and I've seen this in my bots and in my clients' bots as well, the most effective ones seem natural. Seem a part of the conversation that you're having with someone. And that is that a lot of times that is something that you can build right in. I avoid Here's what I avoid at all costs. Doing a call to action that leads directly to a transaction if that person has not interacted with my bot in a while. I don't want to do that at all, because it's kind of like, you go to a party and then there's that one person who sticks their hands out and tells you everything they do for a living and offers you a seat in their program without you like saying a word. You know what I mean? I always go back to the conversation. Go back to the conversation as the heart of, would this be acceptable in a conversation, or would this look like salesy, douchey? So in short answer to the question, setting it up within the structure, it is usually something that is right within the structure in the normal flow of conversation. Hey, do you want to learn more about this? Then if that person is interested in learning more, sending them along a message string that will tell them a little bit about it, and then say, hey, do you have any questions? The magic and the power of an open-ended question in a bot, my friends. I wouldn't have believed it until I saw it, and I did see it with my own two eyes, and it blew me away how many times people will give you an honest, thoughtful answer in a bot. They won't do it in a Facebook group unless they're one of your 5 best friends who answers every post. They won't do it on a public Facebook page because, well, geez, who wants to answer in public like that? They'll do it in a bot, though. They'll do it in a bot that they're interested in being a part of and that they're getting value from. Stephen Healy says hello. Hello, Stephen. Teresa says, that's what I'm afraid of. I don't want to come across that way. Ugh, I know. Lynn Cobine is here. Lynn, haven't seen you in a while. Hello. Very good. So how to not come across as salesy and douchey. I was talking a little bit about how to set the scene, let's say. How to set the scene for a transaction call to action in a bot. The way that I have experienced that this has been done to me, and that I certainly have been put inside my bots, is that I will say, are you interested in learning more about this kind of general subject? And if they indicate that they're interested, send them along a string of messages. And then when I have things that come out that are relevant to people, that have already said that they're interested in this, whatever this subject is for you, then putting an occasional broadcast in there that I have a resource or a product they might benefit from feels natural. It's like, it's like saying to somebody, hey, I'm interested in barbecues. And then they have something that fits that. And then they wander up to you and say, hey, I remember you were interested in barbecues. This is, I'm totally dragging stuff out of the air today for examples, but it is much more of a match when they've said that if they've said it will be valuable to them. I feel so much more comfortable as a human being approaching another human being and say, hey, you said that would be valuable to you. I've got something along that lines available right now. Do you want to hear more about it? If they say no, then I don't bug them about that thing. If they say yes, then the offer for some sort of a transaction. A lot of times with the transactions, at first I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable putting a transaction CTA, call to action, inside the bot until I think it took me about 6 months of working with this current bot. Well, 4 or 5. I'll have to do the math later on. Math is not my strong suit, but it was quite a while before I felt comfortable just asking for money within the bot. Because it's a place where I really want to keep it as much as possible geared toward communication and connection and delivering real value to people. So I hope that answered some of the question there. Most of my calls to action are still not a transaction, and they never will be. I'll put it in there once in a while for kind of one-off products, but really, my biggest CTA always is this. let's get together for an Ask Me Anything. It is of service. It's a lot of value for them. It's a half hour for me, and I get to talk about my favorite thing, so it's not work. And folks get their questions answered. They feel like they've gotten some value. And for me, a lot of times people who want to work with me at that point, I don't have to say, and here are my programs, please pick one. I just sit back, answer their questions. And if they ask me how much something is, I say, well, it's this much. It's not that that huge hurdle. To me, in most marketing, it seems like a huge hurdle when I'm deciding, do I say buy or do I say buy now? Do I say, what's the wording that I need to put on the button? What's the coloring of the button? Can people really read that? All of the questions that I second guess myself on on a sales page, right? Because I've written many of those in my life, and many of you have too, and they're not easy to write. I think the sales page is probably the biggest hurdle writing wise that I usually have, because it doesn't come naturally to me. And so the trick is then putting those things naturally in a bot. So I would encourage you to think of CTAs in the bot altogether differently than you think of CTAs everywhere else. A CTA is really, when you get right down to it, it's an opportunity for people to continue engagement with you, to continue engaging with you at whatever level is there. Sometimes it's as simple as an open-ended question. Adam, you're never late. Welcome. Good to see you. Very good. Teresa says, that's what I'm trying to stick to, delivering information, content, and support. You are really, really good at those things. So part of what you're really good at, delivering information, is asking people questions. Does that make sense? How do you think that will apply to you? Questions like that, those fabulous open-ended questions. When you start doing that, it's sort of like priming the pump for a further interaction, because you're showing concern over whether people got what you're saying or not, right? And when you show concern over whether people got what you're saying or not, you're saying, you're not just a number to me. I'm actually going to come back and read this answer. This is not just something that is designed to sell you something because now we've figured out that this channel is available and we're going to use it until it dies. Which is what some marketers truly work on. So if you show concern for people, if you show interest that they're being taken care of and that they're getting something of value, you can start that CTA at the question level. It's the most basic, and you're probably already using it. Is the honest truth, Teresa? You're probably already using that as a way to further engage people. And what is a CTA? That, if you're building to a transaction, starting at that question level, making sure they're taken care of. Other ways that you can put the CTAs in, besides the open-ended question, is offering them different opportunities as they become available in your bot. So some of you are just starting out, right? You're just starting out maybe with a welcome sequence in your first sequence, or maybe you've been around this a while, you've written a few sequences, and now you have more available, and you want to make that more available to people. Because here it is. The bottom line is that even people who are completely in love with what you're doing, if you said to them, hey, what do I offer in my business? Sometimes they can't answer everything that you offer in your business. Stacy Spenceley, I'm going to pick on you. I remember this was a long time ago, probably a couple of years, but I was talking about some workshop I was holding, and Stacy's like, listen, I know you. We're friends on Facebook. I follow you. I want to see what you're offering and I can't find it. You know, people are busy. People are busy, and it may seem, like, okay, I'm giving too many. I'm asking people to engage with me too often. Listen, the people that think that you're engaging with them too often, they're not. They're not going to get a program from you. They're not going to buy anything from you. If a little beep boop in a bot a couple of times a week is already like, God, stop bothering me, they're not going to spend money to further engage with you anyway. When they unsubscribe, it's okay. It's hard not to take that personally sometimes, but it's okay. Anyway, I'm going to catch up on the comments here. Adam says, sales page, buy my crap now. On second thought, maybe a bad idea. Yeah. Don't write that one. Don't write that one. That Kim, you should go to him if you would like something written. Bot Queen. Thank you. The crown is coming in the mail. Very good. Lynn Cobine saying hello to everybody. And Steven saying hello to everybody. That's me. My friends have no idea what I do. I also forget I have to actually tell people. I know. Okay. And that's one of the big points today. Is when you're talking to people in the bot, letting them know in all kinds of ways. It doesn't have to be hit you over the head. These are the things that I do, and you could pay me for these following things. Absolutely not. But it can be just mentioning in passing. If somebody asks a question, say, and you have sworn to me that you will go 20 minutes every day, go to the live chat, answer the questions. If somebody has asked a question and you're in the process of asking that question, you can in passing mention that the course that you have teaches that method, and that here's the short version of what that means. And if you want to dig into this some more, I got a course available for that. Do you want to hear more about that? Again, if they say no, I tag them. They don't want to hear about this. And then when I broadcast, I make sure there's a setting that you could set to target certain people, and I detarget anybody who has expressed, yeah, I don't want to hear about that anymore. It doesn't matter if I've added another module to a course if they've already said they're not interested in it. So, I mean, that's my way. Of course, you may choose something else. Aaron Strayer, hello, friends. It is lovely to see you, Aaron Strayer. So, talking about the different calls to action in the bot. And Aaron, if you've got any questions, pop them down below so that we can talk about it. If you've ever had any troubles thinking about writing calls to action in your bot, I suggest this if you're new. Make the transaction something that happens during, a phone call or something like that. But make your biggest call to action at first just talking to people. Answering their questions, getting them to a face-to-face meeting or a phone call or a video conference. Do that thing. Do that at first, because what you're going to find is that people have needs out there that they're deeply trying to get met, but they are so turned off by normal marketing that they've got blinders on. If you want to actually just have a conversation with them and don't treat them like they're a transaction, you can use that call to action as get on my calendar and let's talk. I do that all the time. That's my AMA. That's my Ask Me Anything session. Adam says, if they're not interested, find out where they live and stalk them. False. Wait, do not do this. I love that. That's beautiful. Adam, you're just loved. You are loved at the bot signal. Know this. Anyway, so also offering new subscriptions within the bot every once in a while. Just going through and saying, hey, I've got I've got a new thing coming up. Do you want to get notifications about this? And trying to make sure it's of value to those people. One of the things that I've gotten a little crazy with in my own bot, and I certainly have passed this sickness along to my clients as well, is I can tell just by looking at where you came from, you know, where your interests lie. I have, and this was a surprise to me, I thought I would spend all my time building sequences and different mini courses for people and all that kind of stuff. I wrote one. I'm actually about to revise it for a conference I'm about to go to this weekend in Phoenix. I'm going to revise a little bit of it just for that conference. I wrote one and I've left it alone until tomorrow, my work time tomorrow. I have spent all my time in the growth tools. I've spent all of my time, you know, thinking about ways to invite people in. And more than that, the transaction stuff, focusing on CTAs as transaction gets us down. It gets us down because we see how many people didn't click versus did click. And, you know, I mean, I don't know about you, but those numbers get in my head sometimes, and it's just not fun at all. Don't think about it as a transaction. Don't think of it as even necessarily a traditional call to action. Think of about an invitation. Just invite people. When you invite people, you know, it's so much more open. It's so much more of a choice for them. Whenever you can introduce choice in the bot, that is what you want to do. Social media stalking. That happens. Very good. Adam is smiling and crying at the same time. Very good. So think of it as inviting. Think of it as, hey, I invite you to learn more about this new resource I have. It's easy for people to, that's not salesy at all. That's not salesy language. But that's just letting people know, hey, I have this thing. If you're interested, we can talk about it. That's just letting people know the lay of the land. And Adam was right earlier when he says, I forget I have to tell people. You know, I forget I have to tell people exactly what it is that I offer. I was looking at my own Facebook page the other day, and I'm like, I could list a few products on here, I suppose. You know, I mean, I believe y'all know that I do work for people and I have classes and things like that. But you know, people who are super new to the page may not know any of that at all. And I forget that I need to tell people. So using the calls to action in the bot, anytime you're offering a further engagement, anytime you're asking an open-ended question, anytime you're answering a question and you say, does that make sense to you? Anytime you can further get engagement, as long as you have, you know, their eyeballs, and they may get all their questions answered and they may go away for a while and they may pop up in 6 months and say, hey, I need something. It's because you offered them value. It's because you're giving them honest value, and then the value matched a need that they have. Sometimes that timing isn't always, you know, 1-to-1. Sometimes, you know, I hardly ever meet people who are like, I've been looking for a bot builder. No, that doesn't happen. I meet people much more often who have never heard of them before. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I attach calls to action like that everywhere. I attach them at the end of answers to questions. I attach them to keywords. So keywords are that thing where if you have a frequently asked question and it's about, I don't know, let's just pick something. If you have a frequently asked question, say you're a real estate agent, and people are in the bot, there's a frequently asked question about first-time home buyers. If people type in, what if I'm a first-time home buyer? You can have a keyword phrase listening to pick that up and then send them along another string of messages that have to do exactly with that. At the end of that string of messages, I always put another call to action, because I want to know, A, did that answer their question? B, do they have any more questions for me? I want to know, and I want them to engage with me after I've answered that question. Ideally, I want them to ask the bot a lot of questions and have a lot of answers. Don't do that right now to Spinning Dragon. By the way, that is not built out yet. But that's the ideal, is that people come to rely on that to get information. So Adam says, wait, clients won't knock on my physical door. You give me your address, you're gonna have a lesbian stalker, Adam. I'm just serious. I'm just kidding you. I would knock on your door if you were in the same state. You're not, though. Yeah, clients don't knock on my physical door either. And it's so frustrating when we all spend a lot of time content creation, things like that, putting stuff out there. It's really great stuff, but when we forget to make that call to action, it's really easy to do that in a conversational fashion in a bot. Include it in the conversation. When you have a frequently asked question that people ask you all the time, and you put a keyword run, you put a bot run that's keyword focused, so the bot is listening for this keyword, and then boom, it'll fire off a sequence or fire off a series of messages concerning that. If that thing is something that you teach in your class, mention that it's something that you teach in your class. You don't have to put anything secondary behind it. I just want people to know I teach classes. If it's something that would be a better fit for a program of yours, you can give them the short version, and you can say, hey, that's, I also have a program that covers that, but here's the peanut shell version. Just get the fact that you sell different things and you have different opportunities and resources. Build that right in. You don't have to have a click here to buy to make that a call to action. We're having so much fun in the comments. Would you make the coffee and supply cake? That is fantastic. Let's see. Adam says, I don't answer my door. I'm a hermit. Trying to change that, though, getting away from the computer screen. I know. I know. Sometimes my wife worries. She's like, why don't you go outside? I don't know. My computer's not there. Anyway, very good. I may have written my bot backwards. Tell me why you think so, Teresa. I would love to know. What would make you think that you've written your bot backwards? Have you written all the calls to action at the front and all the information at the end? Tell me why you think you've written it backwards. I'd love to talk about it. Okay. So yeah, sometimes people need to be told about your services. Sometimes they just need reminded that you have them. And there are times, I mean, for me, it's not super often where I can make them for sale right inside the bot. All right. Is giving a video better than text in a bot? I find that when people are doing welcome sequences, so that's the sequence where you invite people into the bot, tell them what they're going to expect, all of that kind of stuff. I find that it is really nice to have a little video there, just because people don't even know what chatbots are yet. Let's just deal with it. It's new technology. We kind of have to, when people don't know where they are on the internet, what they tell you to do, and this is really true of like landing pages and different things like that. If you can put a familiarizing element in there, then they will not have that knee-jerk reaction of, did I click on the right thing? Am I on the right page? So if you have a familiarizing element right away in your bot, it doesn't have to be video, but video is really great. Wink, wink. Would love it if you'd use this. Wink, wink. Video is super great to use. But if you've even got a photo of your logo, something like that, something to familiarize people with the fact that they are in the right place, they're doing the right thing, this is the right messaging. Because sometimes people get confused when they're moving from one place to another on the internet. Best to have some sort of familiarizing thing to tie it all together. I would love a video. In fact, I'm going to be shooting one for a little bot run that I'm writing for this weekend. I'm going to shoot a little one that just says, hey, welcome. And, my name is, and I'm so super pleased to meet you. And, this is what this is all about. And I hope you get some value. And if you have any questions, write them below. So video's absolutely the best. Anytime you can get video in there, 3 minutes or less, people, anytime you can get video in there, that is golden. But if you can't, images work good too. And text is probably a little down there on the rung. Video, audio, images, text, you can put in a bot. And in that order, I think that's my order of importance. Very good. Do you suggest, Stacy says, having a CTA every time? Sometimes I'd like to just drop love notes on people to remind them that I'm there, but I wonder if I'm losing an opportunity. Oh, love notes in a bot. Yes. Because no matter what, we are people who own businesses, and we are people who need to sell things to make a living. And no matter how many people absolutely love your bot, think that you are super cute, and if you haven't visited Stacy's bot, do it, because hers is super cute. No matter how attached they are, sometimes you always run the risk of making people feel like a potential transaction, right? Potential transaction number 23. If you're always leaving a call to action at the end of everything that is more of a transaction oriented thing, that's the wrong thing to do. I would say dropping love notes on people is awesome. I hear you when you say it feels like a missed opportunity, because it's like, whenever I've written sales pages in the past and people are like, you don't have the button on here twice, or whenever people have looked at my stuff and said, you're losing people, there's always the inner marketer panic. Have you felt this? If you have felt this, write yes in the comments. Inner marketer panic, where it's like, oh my god, I don't have everything on there, I'm losing people right now. There's no need to feel that way in a bot. And there's no reason to feel that in a bot. It's a different approach altogether. I would say CTAs, I mean, even if you have a love note and you don't want to put a CTA there, then that is just totally fine. If you're doing all love notes all the time, you might be missing a few opportunities. Here's the deal. It really kind of, I hate to say, put this many calls to action in your bot per month. I hate to do that, because some people broadcast a, I would say, if I were to kind of put a little bit of a gauge on this, I would say that if 20 to 25% of your messages do not have a learn more, look at this now, come subscribe over here. If they don't have any call to actions, I think that's okay. Because they've basically asked you. I mean, if they're subscribed to your bot, they have given you that real estate in their inbox. If you use that real estate to love on people, when it comes time for them to need the services that you provide, they're not going to shop around. They already know a person. It may not be the right time. You might not get people, buying up your program if you just drop them a love note one day. But your chat bot is going to stand out among the crowd. Does that make sense, Stacy? Let me know if that makes sense in the comments. I love your love notes, because I get your love notes, and sometimes I need them. Everybody needs them. Making people feel seen and cared about is huge inside a messenger bot. Okay, very good. chocolate cake. We're talking about chocolate cake. That's good. Just thought we could use Loom to make a short welcome video. Darling, you can. Love Loom, everybody. It's a fabulous product. It's free, and you can record videos all day on that bad boy. Short videos. Here's the thing, though, Lynn. If you're going to use Loom to make a short welcome video, Loom will allow you to download that video, and upload it to MiniChat. Don't put a link in there. I only put links in there for videos that are over 4 minutes long, and I'm absolutely sure that it could not be chopped up and make it better. The reason is because if you send them out of the bot, they're not coming back. You know, they'll be back the next time you broadcast, but if there's any further contact you wanted with them, yeah, they're done. They're not coming back. So if you are using Loom, make sure you download that video and then upload it into MiniChat. Let's see. I like the love notes. That way the CTA doesn't become unfriendly. What are love notes? Absolutely. Well, and in some crowds are better for this than others, but and Stacy, if I say anything out of line here, you'll let me know, because you're Stacy. But love notes are when Stacy deals with mothers mainly who have young children, toddlers and younger. And Stacy is a coach who will help new moms get through the day with everybody still breathing at the end of the day. That is the peanut shell version. I'm sure that there's better words for it. But for that crowd, Stacy, and I'm subscribed, so I see all these things. Stacy will drop a love note in there, which is, consists of a Bitmoji picture of Stacy, and then, a little message below saying, hey, just wanted to remind you that no matter how badly you think you're doing today, you're probably doing better than you thought. Just a little bit of a something that says, hey, was thinking of you, wanted to drop you a little bit of a note. She also drops them kind of during the holidays. I noticed a little bit more frequently, because that's when people, and especially young families, just tend to get super frazzled. That's what a love note is. And see Stacy for a better explanation. Very good. The bigger issue is missed opportunities, like me not sending broadcasts. Oh yeah. Oh, preach it to me, sister. I have done the same thing, and it's okay. I'm getting more organized and getting on a schedule, and that's helping a little bit. Stacy says, but a mix of love notes and CTAs works, like engagement posts versus promo posts in a group. Yeah, I'd say I'd use the 20-25% rule. 25% love, encouragement marketing, 25% love, 75% some CTA. And I'd say the right mix for me, and everybody has to decide this for their own business, the right mix for me is really 5% of that 75% that has CTA, which is causing further engagement, opportunities for further engagement. About 5% of that is transaction based. But the lion's share of it, the 70%, is calls to action that are just calls to further engage them in conversation, open-ended questions. Let's see, new subscriptions within the bot, new paths within the bot, opportunities for them to get information to attach to keywords. The lion's share of it is going to be that type of call to action. And then there's that teeny little bit that's like, hey, heard you were interested in the bot shop. You want to go? Hit this button. So yeah, hope that answers that. Adam says, balance it out as though a conversation with a person next to you. That's how I always do it, is if I am building a bot and if I'm thinking, is this over the line? If I have that question, I try to think about, what if we were at a party and I was talking to somebody, or someone was talking to me in the way that my bot is talking right now? Would I be offended? Would I be interested? That's the test. That's always the litmus test. That's the only scientific term you'll hear on this show today. Teresa says, I have questions about MiniChat in general. Let's get together for those. Let's do it. Get on my calendar, my friend. Why can't I copy and paste stuff? Get on my calendar for that. You should be able to copy and paste things. And there is also a little bit of a shortcut if you want to copy and paste groups of messages. I can show you how to do that too. Lynn, so have downloaded and pasted to Facebook page. Would that be the same? Have downloaded what? Tell me, Lynn. What have you downloaded and posted to your Facebook page? Teresa says, tried to copy a link for a CTA and it wouldn't let me. Oh, I think I understand. If you're not in the edit screen, it won't do it. It'll just look at you. It won't even tell you what's wrong. Oh, it's heartbreaking. But yeah, get on my calendar. I'll show you what's going on. Stacy, not a technical term, just dropping in with a little encouragement or meme to cheer them on in solidarity, making them feel seen or normalizing what they're going through. I might have to copy and paste that into a little window or a Post-it note somewhere near me. I love that. I love that a lot because for normalizing what people are going through, right? I mean, with Stacy, it's young, moms with young toddlers and under. For me, it's teaching people technology, and you'd be surprised at how many people sometimes just assume that since I've been through a lot of classes and stuff that I'm a brainiac and all that kind of stuff. I too have felt like somebody's talking about technology and they're speaking Swahili. And there's no language guide anywhere to be seen. I have felt dumb sometimes when people talk to me about technology. So leaving messages that normalize the process really, really helps because it makes people feel like, okay, this person is just another one of us and, not talking down from an ivory tower type of thing. Very good. Franco is here. Hey, Franco. Teresa. Yeah, you'll love Stacy's stuff. She's amazing. Hello, David Burrows. Love from the United States, David Burrows. All right. Adam's going to rush off. Thanks for coming. Very good. Downloaded Loom and uploaded in a Facebook group. Use it to teach a few tips. Oh yeah, absolutely. You can put those links on a Facebook page in a Facebook group. Totally fine. I just wouldn't put it in Messenger. Let's see. Oh, but you downloaded and uploaded, so that should be fine as well. Stacy says, no matter what we're struggling with, we all seem to feel like we're the only one. Yeah, we're not a culture that likes to talk about stuff like that. It's not like, I can only speak from this point of view, but, as a female, you're complaining if you're saying stuff about stuff and, all of that. Nobody wants to be viewed as weak or, nobody wants to be viewed as negative ever. So absolutely the last thing that we want to be characterized as. So yeah, we do all seem to feel like we're alone. And the magic of Messenger lets you go, hey, you're not alone. I'm right here. And it's in an app they're already looking at every day. Franco says, what's up, lovely people? Well, it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. All right, who has seen the Mr. Rogers Neighborhood documentary? Anyone? It was fantastic. If you have not seen this, Amazon Prime this right away. Do it. It will brighten your day, especially if you're of the above 30 crowd. It will brighten your day. Lynn says, learning a lot, Franco, making new friends, talking about chocolate cake. Yeah, the comments have made me hungry today. They have made me hungry. Just saying. Amanda says, there's a documentary. There is. My wife and I watched it the other night. And I watched that guy 1,000 times when I was a kid. I mean, the show was always on, and my parents were never home, so I watched that guy a lot when I was a kid, and I didn't realize I really was impressed with this thing because it was just like he talked about how very many people talk at kids and how he remembered what it was like to be a kid and talked in that language. And it was like, oh, I gotta write down what they're saying because this is what we're trying to do with a messenger bot. This is how we are reaching people by being human and engaging in conversation. What is it called again? Well, 143. You've seen it too, haven't you, Franco? That is fantastic. Yeah. Not yet want to see it bad. Yeah, it was excellent. I can't say enough about it. It's a lot of times you watch TV, it's kind of entertaining. This TV like stuck in my head for a bit. So I highly encourage you to watch it, especially if you are just broaching these subjects. Think about using some of the techniques that he uses to talk to children. Think about using some of that stuff as a way to talk to your potential clients and potential collaborators and referrers, because that is it can be a beautiful relationship. It doesn't have to be based on transactions. So very good, darlings. I've talked my way almost through another entire hour of your time. I love you. You know that I do. I will be gone on Thursday on a jet plane, baby. And speaking about bots again in a conference over the weekend, gonna be a great time. But I will miss all of you deeply on Thursday. Stephen and I have a show tomorrow, though. It's at 11 a.m. Central. If you'd like to view that bad boy, you are welcome to, because we're going to talk about bots. We're going to take people's questions. We're going to talk about bots and live streaming. Always a great choice to do together. And so Stephen and I will take questions tomorrow. And then the following week, I'm going to be back on track. Going to be hitting Black Belt Bots on Tuesday, Thursday. Going to be hitting Live Video Hub on Wednesday. And I think that is also, oh yeah, it is. Next week is live. 5 days live. When are you speaking? Where are you speaking? That's rad. Oh, Phoenix. Hotter than sin in that town is amazing. Franco Meets You, travel buddy in Denver on work. Oh yeah. Well, it'll be cooler in Denver, hopefully. But I hope that is better than the last trip that you went on, Franco, which was hurricane centric. And hopefully this one will be a little bit less stressful for you. That would be really fantastic. Text someone special right now, 143, do it. Well, if I had your number, big guy, I would just do it. Yeah, it is so hot in Phoenix. We were there together 3 weeks ago, and you could just feel it radiating off of the ground. It was amazing. So hopefully it's a little cooler right now. But yeah, that's where I'm speaking. I'm speaking at a conference that is focused around joint ventures. Something I didn't know really existed before 3 weeks ago. A lot of us, in my circle, we do a lot of joint ventureship that is kind of informal. This is actually, some people formalize that relationship and have systems set up around that. So I'm going to learn all about that stuff. And then I'm gonna rock the stage with a little messenger bots talk, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. So, darlings, I'll see you tomorrow. If you want to stop by Live Video Hub at 11 a.m. Central. Other than that, I'll see you next week. Until then, if you have any questions, hop into Spinning Dragon and ask those things, because I read every one of those and I respond to those. and I would just love to. I'd love to have your question. And until then, my friends, until I see you tomorrow, hopefully, I'll see you in a bot. Bye.